You know, I mean, people make whatever salary they make. How much do you make? Okay. They just voted for the Senate to make $141,000, which, you know,
a lot of money.
Is a lot of money, but they got to pay for a lot of mistresses, Tom.
Well, yeah. Drugs.
And the president, who was making $200,000, is now going to make $400,000. Not this president, the next president.
Well, he makes it another way, yeah.
And I think that's ridiculously low for the CEO of the biggest corporation in the world.
But that's double what he was getting, right?
That's yes, right. But the last salary raise was in '69. Don't go there.
I've not. Don't you think it would be better for taxpayers and the president, instead of doubling his salary, we vote to cut legal fees in half? that would help.
I mean,
everyone.
He's not. It's too much money as it is. $200,000 is too
much
high.
for the president.
He doesn't have any expenses. The only thing he needs to pay for is his groceries. He's taken care of. He has his office. He's flown around. He has Secret Service protection. He gets a multi-million-dollar pension.
But the groceries needed for the White House.
It's too much money. That's too much money.
How do you expect to attract a well-educated, well-versed human being to an office like the presidency of the United States if you don't pay him as much money as he could make doing another job?
Well, first of all, I think anybody does think
that's an attraction.
It's more about the power than the money for a president. And plus, will $200,000 more get us a better president? No.
No, it won't get us a better president.
He lives in a great house.
It may attract a president that doesn't.
But doesn't he deserve it?
No.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he deserves. I think he deserves a lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more.
For what? More than
for what?
For not even the job.
For getting the adulation of being president. This president doesn't need
the adulation.
Yeah. They get to go into the history books. They're public servants. A lot of people would love to make $50,000, let alone $200,000. No one asks these people to run for office. Good people will run for office. They don't run for the salary. They run for the power, as Ali said. And if they're in it for the money, then they ought to be somewhere else.
But the president can't afford. Presidents can't.
Shut up. That's cheap shot pandering to naive voters.
But if they're in it for the power, they should be doing something else too. I mean, they shouldn't have the power. They should do it because they want to make change, because they want to make this a better world. And it shouldn't be about their personal power.
But if they're going to lose a lot of money by becoming the president, a lot of really, really smart people are not going to lose a lot of money to become the president of the United States.
What money do they lose?
We're paying them. Want to attract the most intelligent, most aggressive, most disciplined individuals that we can to these offices. It's like our teachers.
Well, George Washington,
we don't pay our teachers. We don't pay any of our government officials. So we're losing out. We don't have any educated people in positions where we as citizens need them to be.
That's a general problem. George Washington wasn't paid a lot of money. The early presidents obviously weren't in it for the money.
The point is, you can went to the bathroom outside. This is 1990.
Well, the point is, you can get good people in. They aren't attracted to it for the money.
Because they're wealthy
attracted to it for the money that flows from being president.
Exactly. And afterwards, they're protected for the rest of their life. They're
what do you mean protected? The guy.
Hello, they can work for any corporation in America.
That's right. They become money-grubbing whores.
Okay.
When they
so
leave
why should we give them the money while they're in the office?
Because Bill Clinton is leaving office $4 million in debt.
Oh, that's because he's a crook. That's why. Because he has all these legal bills. That's why.
No, Nixon was a crook. He's just a guy who is anatomically correct, which bothers you.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. No, I think it's a good... That's silly. He committed crimes. And but that's a non-issue as it relates to whether or not the president should get $200,000, which is arguably 4 times the salary of any other American. People pay taxes. That's a lot of money.
He's doing a better job. He's doing a more involved job, a more important job than the average American.
No, he isn't.
How begrudging, how small-minded, how petty of you not to recognize that this guy is doing something you couldn't do.
It's an important job.
You couldn't do it.
I tell you what, if I were going to run for it, I wouldn't say I need $500,000 in order to do it. And the issue is whether or not the presidency, people are good presidents because of the salary, or good people run for the presidency because of the salary. It has nothing to do with it. And it's a waste of taxpayer money otherwise.
There are 2 issues. what you go through in being the president, being raked over the coals like you are, even when you're doing a phenomenal job, is not worth the money, any amount of money. $400,000 is worth a lot more. But the job itself shouldn't be, the amount of money shouldn't be the purpose or to attract better people. So it doesn't work.
I mean, whether it should or shouldn't be, it's the facts.
It isn't the fact. Nobody has got into it for the money, or
because they usually have a lot of money to begin with.
And you think we'll get a better person with a?
We can't attract people who make no money to public office.
Yes, we can, because you know what? If you wanted to do it and you made no money, I mean, if it was possible to raise money for your campaign, if you wanted to do it, room and board is paid. All you have to do is pay your groceries, so you don't need a lot of money to actually be the president.
But you still have to support your family. You still have kids who are going to college. You still have potentially other
They can attend the public school system.
$200,000 is enough to
I
take that up.
think we get $10 million just for having Ken Starr up his ass.
We have to take a break.
We were joshing with Senator Strom Thurmond, who's still alive, thank God.
Getting paid well, too.
96 years old. Now, I read this in the paper just last week. They are now treating a lot of people who are in nursing homes with antidepressants. And they describe this woman in the article. She is 92. She was depressed. I think just grief-stricken. I think there's a real difference between depressed and grief-stricken because she had lost her husband, her 5 sisters, her vision, her ability to walk. And she was sad. What a surprise.
Right.
So they gave her this drug called, I lost what it is, but it's an antidepressant. Oh, here it is, Remerin. They always have those great names, don't they?
Remerin.
Zoloft. Who couldn't get high just hearing it? And I mean, is this the way we really want to go, to give people a false high who have no reason to go on?
And the alternative would be
to
kill them?
Well, the alternative is that depression is a natural precursor to death. A lot of people die of depression. There's a reason for that. Right. There's a reason that our human bodies respond to that particular chemical in that way. It's because it's time to die.
It's time
for these people
so
to die.
So you just put grandma to sleep.
Yeah. No.
Have you ever been to a nursing home?
I believe in spay and neutering, but putting her to sleep.
Not putting her to sleep, honey. Allowing her own human body to react to the situation naturally.
But isn't that suffering?
Yeah, that's it. You can say that about
absolutely. Those last great days of her life.
Great days?
Well, to you, maybe. I mean, this is all she has left. If she wants to be happy, then who are we to not give her the
But have you ever lied still with your eyes closed with nothing to do? It's fun sometimes. It is.
Who is making this decision, the family or the doctor?
There is no family. They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Everybody's dead. Well, and she can't even play bingo. She's,
you know, she can't see, she can't walk, everybody she knows is
But I
dead.
believe in making somebody as comfortable as possible, and I don't think depression is a comfortable.
Let me just say, my grandmother has Alzheimer's.
Right.
My grandmother's been in a nursing home for a while now, and it breaks my heart to think of her passing on. She's the closest person to me.
Right.
However, she has been kept alive now for a very long time after she would have passed on.
Right.
She would have passed on from depression.
Right.
She would have passed on from pneumonia.
Right.
She would have passed on from very many other causes that we now have solutions for. Medically, she has been taken care of medically.
It's a
but she's been caused to suffer because of it.
Have you ever been
Who has been caused to suffer more, you or her?
Well, my grandmother has fallen several times. They've dropped her.
They've dropped her.
The people who take care of her.
Well, then you should just hire another 2 people to carry her.
With my grandmother was also in the care services, and we're paying this money to these people to watch over them. We would arrive there. She had bruises. They had dropped her. Her bed was, I mean, everything. And you're providing.
So why are you talking about that in this situation?
There's no alternative but to ease their pain and to make sure their end days are as comfortable as possible.
To change the culture of thought in this country.
To treat elderly people with more respect, so people like you don't push them out the window as soon as you're through with them.
No, through with them. It's not me who's through with them. It's life that's through with them.
But look at the care. Look at the care that they're getting. It's the problem is the care.
Right. No, it's not.
It is a health care. They should not be dropped.
The problem is too much.
You don't hear about people dropping their babies.
The problem is that we keep people alive after the natural cycle has ended.
Who's to judge when the natural cycle's ended? We do that for young people. We do that for young people. All medical intervention is against the natural cycle. Just because someone's old, they deserve as much medical intervention.
I got to take a break. We'll come back to this. We're talking about what goes on with people who are extremely ill. Let me point this out, that there is a difference between grief and pain, which our society thinks we need to eradicate completely. We shouldn't. That is part of life. There's a difference between that and depression. Now,
wait, but there's a difference between sustaining life. I'm not one for sustaining a horrible life or making someone comfortable. I believe that they should be popped full of painkillers, antidepressants, whatever makes you seem until they go of natural cause.
Why do we put the money into medication and creating all these drugs to help ease the pain or for these to cure these diseases if we're not going to use them?
This woman is
well, trust me, I could put them to a better use.
The woman you're talking
about, how to use them.
The woman you're talking about is depressed, blind, and can't walk.
Can't walk, can't see, and everyone is dead, including her son.
But she's not dying.
Well, she doesn't have feelings except the ones we artificially pump into her.
Grief is temporary. Grief is temporary normally, and if this helps her get through the grief until she comes out of it.
Oh, right, Tom. She's going to start another family.
Well, you never know. She may have friends in the nursing home. She may be friendly with the nurses.
But depression is not life-threatening.
Before you know it, we'll be medicating every emotion that we think is inappropriate at any given time for any other individual who isn't able to make that decision for themselves.
It's not depression. Depression is about having a chemical imbalance, and when you take the antidepressant drug, it changes the balance so that you're right.
Well, grief can be physically debilitating, too.
We're talking about making her comfortable. So we're going to put her through hell until she dies?
Just because you think their time is up? I don't think that's right.
It's a little known cause of death, but depression is a natural course of things for people who get old, and it causes them to die.
People who have
a chemical that your body naturally creates.
Depression is a normal...
Well, grief at the end of life.
At the end of life, you start to lose your friends, you start to feel like there isn't really a reason to go on, and physically your body responds to that emotion.
You know, I had a daytime talk show which got canceled, and I got a little depressed, and I'm just glad that nobody let me die. I'm just glad y'all...
That's not the same. Come on. Truly spiritual people, of which Americans are not... are not afraid to die. Indians, you know, Eskimos, they get on the ice floe.
Dying is a different issue. I want to die in the... you know what? I'm saying, don't hook me up to any machines, let me die, but make me as comfortable as you can possibly make me.
This is not compassion.
I think it is compassion.
Depression is suffering.
Right. It depends if the person is asking for it, I think.
Maybe she doesn't have the capability.
She lost her sight, she lost what she can speak, she still has feelings. You can't take that away
from her. She can say, don't give me that pill anymore.
Okay, let me ask you this. There's a case history of an elephant. Two elephant friends. This is going to be odd, but it's going to be helpful.
I'm sure once you tell me this, I'll never forget it.
Two female elephants. You're going to remember me forever, Alex. Two female elephants. One of them has stillborn death and dies. The other one is the best friend. The best friend elephant circles this other elephant and cries until it dies. Do you think that we should have gone in and medicated the elephant to get it to leave its best friend and go on with its life?
I know
it's very odd.
Let me just say,
it strikes at the core of the question.
That is one really big that elephant is going to have to smoke. Okay, we've got to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, Allie, you mentioned the incredibly rotten treatment that these elderly people often get in homes. Well, now there's a federal bill proposed to put a granny cam in all nursing homes, which would be a camera that would show how they are being treated. And nursing homes are fighting it because you think that's a...
I don't know if you need a law.
Because it's in
this is going to work out this way. I disagree because I think it's an invasion of the granny's privacy.
That's a good point.
As much as my
But until
grandmother
you've
has
watched
fallen, as I've said, and so it's a personal story for me. Thinking, what do I do? Do I spy on these people? You know, when you come, they seem perfectly nice, they seem very helpful, and then you leave. Maybe they're really torturing them. What's happening? And it is my grandmother. On the other hand, do I want her to be on camera all the time? Would I want that for myself? Absolutely
But
not.
she's being in a hospital, she is in a public place. I mean, she can be viewed from the doorway, from any, so you're not, it's not the privacy of her own home, and I think it would do more good than harm.
40%
Number one.
Homes.
Number two, just watching videos of nurses is terrific. I mean, if you've ever...
All right, thank you for that.
Maybe that elephant didn't die.
I got it. Monday, we got our special Black Comic Show. Not the one we had last month, the new one. Steve White, Siri Shepard, Wiley Roberts, and talent.